Things is our
I feel
music.
naked without my computer.
That's weird.
Glad you're not.
Wow.
Oh my God. Don't do that again, Jeff, please.
Cold open.
You can't be scaring off our guest pickers.
Jeez. We promise, Coach, that's a joke that has never happened. It will never happen. Okay?
Lord.
As the kids say, pause, okay? Just pause.
Oh, gosh. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Are we freewheeling it today?
Boy, have we got a great show for you today. It's our week
Okay,
number
Tony the Tiger.
5 Pick'em show. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart, Caleb Hutchins, Seth Chapman, and Walker McQuarrie.
I was going to go Steve Harvey. We've got a good one for you today.
It's a great one. Hey,
Well, it was the great for me.
Joe Dix, East Hall. Well, I mean, do we have to really, announce Joe
Yeah,
Dix?
you don't need
No,
to tell who he is. Everybody
no
knows.
dig-
No introduction.
No introduction. He's our
That's
guest
correct.
picker today.
I can't
so
wait to get him
I
on.
cannot wait to get him on and get the
He's got
rundown
a
going.
he's got a, look, KDB went 11-2.
Yes, she did.
And you got the Gainesville East Hall rivalry. I mean, he's got his work cut out for him.
He
on
does.
that one.
By the way, speaking of records, Jeff took the lead, by the way, as much as I hate to say that. He was 12-1 last
Why
week.
do you hate to say that?
1 game lead over Caleb and I, and Walker comes in there at we'll say third place since Caleb and I are tied at second, and Seth in at fourth. Guest picker. KDB made up some ground with
He
a guest
did.
picker.
Seth-
KDB and J4 have made ground up for
They
Sutton
are
Shirley
nipping-
and Ryan Murray.
They're nipping on
Yeah,
Seth's heels.
they are nipping on the hills.
I feel
guys.
it.
Hey,
You should.
It's like a small
Yeah.
chihuahua.
well, at least it's not coattails, which you're normally on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're comfy, though. We talked about this last time.
Okay.
Like last year.
Yeah.
There's cup holders. It's a nice place.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Week number 4, quickly.
I've
Any
made some
surprises?
renovations.
Any surprises for anybody in week number 4? Floor is yours. Anybody?
Surprising.
Can't think of any surprises. I mean, we had
Maybe
some
a
good football
defensive-
games. I think,
A defensive
I was gonna
struggle
say
with
Cherokee
Chastity.
Bluff.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, Cherokee Bluff, in that Madison County game, I think a lot of us thought Madison County was, the front runner for that number 2 spot in 8-4A. And now I think 2 through 4 are all wide open in 8-4A. And I throw Cherokee Bluff into the mix. If they can put that defensive effort together and fix some special teams things, I think Cherokee Bluff's in the mix for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think we learned 2 things from that Madison County Cherokee Bluff game. One, when we talked to coaches and people around 8-4A, I think they all kind of had the mentality of, well, there's kind of North Oconee and then a gap, and then Madison County and then a gap, and then a bunch of teams fighting for 3 and 4. I think we learned 2 things. Number one, Cherokee Bluff's not done, even though they're 0-3. They are still very much in play for a playoff spot. If they're going to play that way the rest of the year, there is nobody on that schedule not named North Oconee that they can't beat. Second thing we learned is there might not be a gap between Madison County and the rest of the field for that number 2 spot. Like, Madison County might have some more dogfights on their hands if they want to take that number 2 spot. And there might be some teams, North Hall might be one of them, East Forsyth could be one of them, who might be capable of knocking off Madison County, might be capable of taking that number 2 seed potentially.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a very fun ride in 8-4A. Again, North Oconee's the runaway favorite, but everything else after that I think is completely up for grabs.
No, I agree with you. And that 8-4A, I think, is going to be everybody wants a front row seat to that finish because you're going to have 3 playoff positions and 4 teams, maybe 5, but I'm saying 4. They're going to be vying for those.
We're going to need to
3
actually
spots.
get that engineering calculator to work out the tiebreakers if that happens, because it's going to be interesting. How about a defensive battle in East Hall Chesty? That's a series over the last decade. That's they've been averaging like 90 points a game in that series, 14-10. Does that mean those defenses are a little bit better or the offenses not as good? I'm not sure what that tells us, but all we know is East Hall's 1-0. They flash some defense. We know they have some skilled players on offense. An interesting game this week at North Hall at the Brickyard, where North Hall, what's their defense? Are they the team that gave up 6 last week to Walnut Grove, or the team that probably gave up 50 to White County? So that's an interesting matchup. So I want to see. I'm really interested to see how good East Hall really is.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my interesting teams out there.
And the Vikings have a punter too. I mean, that game hinged on a punt for the Vikings, and then they downed it at the 1 yard line and forced Chastity and that wing tee to have to try and go 99 yards to win that game. Special teams, especially in that East Hall North Hall game, could prove to be a very big key to who comes out on top.
Look, guys, you talk about punters.
Okay.
Sammy Brown is a punter. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
It's just like, does Sammy Brown do anything?
Well, here's the thing. He didn't have to punt a whole lot because Jefferson just walloped.
No, Jefferson did.
Yeah.
But when he punted, he averaged like 54 yards. Now, let me tell you this. His punts were low, and they got really good rolls. But
hey, it doesn't
he
matter.
also rolled for 186 yards and made an incredible acrobatic interception catch of that game. And 8-5A, it's Jefferson, in my opinion, to lose. But I think Clark Central will probably give them a really, really
You want to talk about punters? We saw one last week with Clark Central. That kid could kick, and he was booming everything about 50 yards.
I'll tell you one more thing.
And that defense was good for Clark Central.
You got one more thing?
One more thing is I think 7-3A is going to be very interesting because
Yeah,
Dawson County, the reigning region champ, is struggling heavily. They got blown out by Stevens County. Lumpkin County looks really, really good. There's some other teams in that
White
region
County.
that look good. White County looks good. You got Trip Nix out there throwing
Yes.
bombs, looking like Quinn Ewers all of a sudden.
Ouch.
And there it is.
There it is. I was waiting on that to drop, Caleb. Atta boy.
What is it, Hook 'em Horns?
7-3A is going to be very interesting.
That was totally uncalled
Look,
for.
hey,
Totally uncalled for.
we're about to get to our conversation games, and that Stevens-White County game is the top game. The first game we're going to discuss. I think if White County has a good showing against Stevens County, I think they're all of a sudden like the competitor to Lumpkin County for that top spot in Region 7.
I would agree with that.
So let's move into it.
What a
Segue
game that will be if that
Stevens
happens.
County at White County. This one has a big offense. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Is that going to be? Yeah, yep. Actually, we're going to open the Stevens at White County with Jeff Hart's stat of the show.
Here we go.
Here's some things you need to know.
It's Jeff Hart's interesting stat of the show.
It's a goofy jingle, but it gets me every time. Ow! Sorry. Yeah, listen. This is a really intriguing game because White County is third in Class 3A in scoring. Stevens County is eighth, but Stevens County is third in Class 3A in scoring defense, only giving up 9 points. So something is going to have to give. White County's averaging 40. The difference might be is the Warriors are only 17th in defense, or giving up about 20.6 points a game. The Stevens County offense is very efficient. They've got a great running back. The quarterback is solid. They've got a really good offensive line. My thing is we've talked a couple of times over the last few weeks, is the 7-3A versus the 8-3A. 8-3A is, let's just be honest, they have owned 7-3A over the years. They swept them out in just brutal fashion last year.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there.
How many stats are
I
we going
was
to have
there.
in this portion, by the way? We just start calling it Jeff Hart's stats of the show.
I just try to be comprehensive.
Okay,
so you guys have some
what
information
was the number
to work
one
with.
stat?
Look,
Have you made
I'm
the point
just,
yet?
Look, when we talk, oh my God, you're killing me here.
Something makes me think we're
Congratulations,
going
you're
to
officially
have
taking way too long to get out of this point. Please move along to the next topic.
Something
we're done.
makes me think
Apparently we're done.
that we're going to get an addendum to the stat of the show later in the show.
Hey, it's my
I
stat
think
of
there
the show.
will be an addendum later in the show.
Look, get your own stat of the show. I have a song, okay? This is my stat of the
But
show.
it's a
I
stat
gave Caleb
of the
a
show.
song
It's a
at one
single
point.
stat.
All right, I'll wrap this up if you guys will hush.
Please put a bow on it.
I'm not putting you on it at all. Anyway, the Indians have won 7 straight over 7-3A teams going back to 2020. Name the last team that beat them.
Oh, now it's
White
trivia.
White County in
Is this a
2020.
stat or is this freaking trivia night?
Both. It's both.
Somebody call Bill Wilson.
Can they snap the Indian streak?
busts in the door like the Kool-Aid
know.
man? Did someone say
Anyway,
trivia?
I think wow. I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get out of the contract to be on this show?
There is no contract.
no
This is just
contract.
against.
Contract. It's part of,
Hey, Jeff, if I can't get out of it, you
Part of
can't
your
get out
job
of it. This is
description.
Oh, I'm getting out of this show.
it's a condition
All
of
right,
your
let's
employment.
move to Stevens.
So I don't know if you. So there it is, people. They interrupted so much, so maybe you got something out of that. I don't know, but there's a lot going on. I like the. I think the fun matchup is going to be that White County offense versus the Stevens County defense. But if the White County defense can't slow Stevens at all, I think it's going to be very hard for White County to win that game.
Yeah, Stevens County's defense has been getting better every week. You know, they give up 29 points to Habersham Central, and since then they just really haven't given up much of anything. So I think this is going to be a tough matchup for the Warriors.
Yeah, I think that Indian defense is a lot better than, what we thought. Like you said, Caleb, 29 points against Habersham Central week 1. Since then, I think they've given up 14 points combined in the last 3 games.
Something
maybe.
like that. Mm-hmm. Shutouts, Raven County.
That defense is scary. White County playing at home in front of their home fans, and the offense, Trip Nix is throwing the ball outstanding
No
right now. and I
turnovers
think
for them. None this year.
Yeah,
That's the key.
Exactly. I think that offense is going to have some success. I just don't know that they can have sustained and consistent success against the way that Stevens County's defense is playing. But if anybody can do it, I think it's White County, and just how their offense is built and how Trip Nix is spreading the ball around to a bunch of different people. It's going to be hard for Stevens County to stop it. The question is, can White County have that consistent success?
Yeah, against a defense like Stevens County. And, of course, the stats of the show that we just had there from Jeff, I didn't understand them. So
Because you kept interrupting.
I will say this. Last year, Jevin Gordon had a night
quit.
against White County. If he has another night against White County, this could be long for the Warriors. But the Warriors do have the ability to score.
Absolutely.
And
they have Ryan Fowler, kind of a hidden.
They do have Ryan Fowler, but the biggest key to me is going to be that Stevens County defense. And rolling into Cleveland, I think they really put it to White County this week.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys.
They're a big favorite.
They are a big favorite. Huge
points.
favorite. Jackson County at North Forsyth this game. Region 8-6A opener here for these two guys and our two teams. And this is a big game. Last year, it was a close game.
Great game last year. It really was a very, very – I love the defensive struggle.
Best head-to-head matchup in the area this week, MJ Sperlin against the North Forsyth defense.
Yeah.
That is going to be a slugfest.
These two teams are like very similar on paper. I mean, obviously you give MJ Sperling, the check on the rushing attack, but then you look at what North has offensively with their quarterback and Eli Cini, and then their running back in the backfield, Perry.
Right.
They have kind of two guys that can run the football, whereas Jackson County, relies on MJ Sperling, but their quarterback play has not come along as it probably should have at this moment. So
Like Jackson County.
yeah, both of them, both teams.
Look, and
as far as passing the ball, I should say.
Jackson County also has Peyton Scott on that defensive line, and he's one of the better defensive players in the area. He kind of doesn't get a lot of recognition, but very solid player over his career. If he's able to get in the backfield and wreak some havoc, and you got Sperlin and those linebacker group with Jackson County. Look, I'm expecting another low-scoring game in this one. And so when you look at, does Jackson County have the single best player in Sperlin on the field? They might, but one player doesn't always win you the game. That helps. It's going to be a great matchup.
I think it's
Raider Valley. It could be one of the best games.
I think it's going to come down who can put together a passing game in this one.
I agree totally,
Could be.
not throw an interception.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, how happy do the Panthers have to be to get out of Gwinnett County? Just the past
for
3
real.
games, 2 double overtime games, and then that game last week against Mountain View where
It was
Mountain View just
21-14 in the third quarter, and then
Yeah.
things kind of imploded. They had a bunch of turnovers and gave up a couple of big plays, and boom, it turns into 56, whatever it ended up.
Yeah, I think that Jackson County's got to be just thrilled to get out of Gwinnett County and get into region play. North Forsyth's just been knocking at the door, real close games the past few weeks. Again, if MJ Sperlin is able to get rolling, this Jackson County team is going to be tough to beat. North Forsyth has the better defense in this game, I think. But then North Forsyth's offense, they've struggled to get going in games. So as much as it's MJ Sperlin versus the North Forsyth defense. I think it's the North Forsyth offense. Can they get anything rolling in Raider Valley? Because if they can't do that, it doesn't matter how good the defense plays. It's going to come down to who can put the ball in the end zone. That's what matters. Who can score the most points? And if North Forsyth doesn't score very many points, I don't know if Jackson County can't score maybe 2 or 3 more points. It's a very fun game to even talk about, much less to be in Raider Valley for.
Yeah, and again, this region is kind of like 8-4A.
Oh, yeah.
You've got 3 teams vying for the 3 spots. You may have 4 teams vying.
Clear number 1, and then very muddy waters after that. Everything's up for grabs. Spots 2, 3, 4.
Absolutely.
All right, let's finish up our conversation today with Hart County at Lumpkin County. This game is actually a pickup for Lumpkin after Riverside dropped off the schedule, and Walker Heath Webb really did a good job going out and finding a quality opponent to put on his schedule.
Yeah, it all came together in about a 48-hour span with Riverside dropping off, and Hart County happened to just be at 9 games and had the common bye week. I think this is an excellent test for Lumpkin County going into 7-3A. We're talking about Lumpkin being, potentially the front runner to win the region, but you look at what happened last year in the state playoffs against an 8-3A team, which Hart County is. Oconee County comes in, takes care of business. Now they ultimately end up going to the Final Four. But that's kind of where Lumpkin thinks they are right now. They think they're in the mix for not only a region play or a playoff appearance in the state tournament, but a region championship, a run into the playoffs. And if they can get past Hart County, even though it's not the Hart County of old, Caleb, I think this really sets up Lumpkin County for success when they start 7-3A play next week.
Well, this is a big game for 7-3A as a whole because let's just be honest. I mean, Class 3A is brutal, but most of that brutality lies in Regions 5 and 8.
Yes.
And, let's call it what it is. Region 7-3A has kind of been one of the weak spots in the 3A bracket. At least it was last year. And so I think for Region 7-3A, this is a big game. Hart County's not a top team in 8-3A. I don't know whether or not they'll make the playoffs this year, but it is an 8-3A team. It's still a quality team. Lumpkin County, I think right now is probably the odds-on favorite in 7-3A. And so if you're 7-3A, you really do not need Lumpkin County getting beat at home by a Hart County team that might not make the playoffs in 8-3A. You really need Lumpkin County to win this game to give you some validation going into the playoffs and some confidence, not just for Lumpkin, but for all the other teams in 7-3A that make the playoffs that, hey, we can play with these teams from these other regions. We can beat these teams from these other regions.
And not just win, but I think they need to beat them convincingly.
Which is very possible, but I think this is more of a mental
Yeah.
test for Lumpkin County than it is anything else. Because when you talk about 8-3A, when you talk about the tradition of the 8-3A football teams, even though Hart County is not what Hart County has been, 5 or 6 years ago, this to me is more of a mental test for Lumpkin County. And the good thing is, Walker, Jeff, Caleb, Seth, that this thing is in the Gold City, up at the burial grounds, which that place is going to be jacked and rocking Friday night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that the big key in this game is, can Mason Sullins get going? The game films out, right? Mason Sullins runs for 200 plus yards a game. Hart County is going to key on Mason Sullins in this game. If they don't, I'd be shocked. Can Mason Sullins get the ball rolling? And then can that open up Cal to be able to throw the ball? Can that open up Cal to be able to run the ball and get all the weapons that Lumpkin County has involved on the offensive side? If they can do that, it's going to be a fun night for Indians fans who weren't expecting to play at home for another couple of weeks, I think.
Well, we can talk about the skill players for both teams, but the matchup I want to see in that game is the lines of scrimmage because – and when I talk about 7-3A,
that's where they get beat up.
Right. When I talk about 7-3A being a little bit of a weak spot in the 3A bracket, they just have not been able to match up much on the lines of scrimmage against teams from Region 5 and Region 8. So that's one of the things I want to see because Heath Webb and that program have talked a lot about the work they put in trying to bulk up on the line of scrimmage. You talked about the weight that they've put on, the weightlifting they've been doing, and it's shown up early. But now you got an 8-3A school coming in. I want to see how Lumpkin County looks on the lines of scrimmage against Hart County. Because if you win that, the Mason Sullins yardage stuff will take care of itself.
Yep,
but that line of scrimmage matchup is what I want to see.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, that's where if Lumpkin County wants to feel like that they're not only a player for a region title, but a player in the playoffs. Once you get in the playoffs, you have to win the line of scrimmage. Whoever wins line pretty much wins just about every game. And that, you're absolutely right. That's where 7-3 has been the weakest. That's where they get beat up every time in the playoffs. And this is, Hart County may not be Hart County, but, they've always have athletes. They've just have a tradition of, they're just bigger, faster, stronger typically than the 7-3 schools. They may not be what they were, but I agree. Mental tests, we need to see the line to play. Can they do what I think a lot of us expect to do? That's why I think they need to not just win it, but they need to win it convincingly.
Well, I think that this is going to be if Lumpkin rolls out of there with a win, a massive confidence booster to the entire program.
Yes.
As they head into Region 7 3A play against Pickens next week. So it'll be interesting to see how this game unfolds, but I think Lumpkin, if they come to play, I think they might be happy at the end of the night. All right, guys, it's time to get to the favorite portion of the show, the rundown. We're going to pick them all. We got 13 games.
Not all of them, but
that we're going to pick.
13
all 13 games.
All
13 out
13
of
games.
18. Well, we have 18 games on the schedule, though.
Yes, that'd be correct, Jeff.
Well, of course I'm correct.
I'm glad you could count.
But we're picking 13.
But we're
Baker's
picking
I'm
done
never
13.
wrong. I was 12-1 last week.
Yeah, okay. You were
Well,
wrong one time.
that means you were wrong one time.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, well, I was wrong less than y'all.
Hey, we got to stop the presses here because we got Joe Dix as our guest picker this week. Hey!
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
There he is.
Man, we have heated up with the guest pickers.
We have.
KDB, now Joe Dix.
We're rolling through all these basketball coaches. Seeing how they can
hot
pick
on the
football.
guest pickers,
How did
man.
J4 get into this group?
That's a good question.
That's a good
How is
question.
J4 involved in this list?
He kind of just wormed. He walked in the show one day and goes, okay, I'll be on.
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
There's another jingle. Yeah, Ryan Murray was one of our guest pickers earlier, and he asked me who it was this week, and I said, it's Joe Dix, and he goes, uh-oh.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means he's probably going to do very well.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think Ryan was like 7-6.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so it was very good.
And he didn't beat Sutton Shirley.
No.
He's going to have a hard time living
Those
that
two
one down.
want to have a one-on-one tournament, by the way.
That's a
What
hard
was
one.
it? So Ryan was 7-6, and what was Sutton?
8-5.
8-5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's
So my
gotten
goal
better
was to beat
each
both
week.
of them, all right.
J4 was 10-3, and Katie last week was 11-2.
11-2.
So that's going to be a tough one to beat there, Coach.
That is.
I don't know. That's
That is.
Gainesville East Hall rivalry thing. You can't let that stand. You're going
I
to have to
cannot
beat
let
that.
stand.
All right, Coach. Well, let's bring it here. Walker, Coach, Jeff, Caleb, Seth, and me are the picking order this week. So we'll go ahead and start at the top. Appalachia at Gainesville. I think this one's pretty easy. This one is that's a huge spread in this game.
What is the spread on this one?
54.
Whew.
I don't know if it's a 54-point game, guys, but Gainesville's going to win by however many they want to win by.
Yeah, I'm. As much as it pains me to go with Gainesville, I'm gonna have to go with them right here. So yeah, Gainesville in a route.
It pains you to go with Gainesville. Well, you don't
It
have to
pains
pick them, Coach. You can go with Appalachia.
No, I'm playing to win right now.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. I'm going to take Gainesville as well.
Yeah, Gainesville also.
Seth?
Definitely Gainesville. They'll roll.
Yeah, Gainesville's going to roll in this one. I don't know if it'll be 54. It might be 64, but Gainesville's going to roll in this one. All right, Carver, Atlanta at Buford. Not your typical Carver, Atlanta team. Buford's offense got going a couple weeks ago. What say you, Walker?
Yeah, I think Buford's gotten a lot of things fixed in the bye week, and I think Buford's going to finally put all the facets together and put together a complete 48 minutes and win by, again, however many they want to win by.
Coach?
I'm with you. Coach Appling's a friend of mine, and we got a chance to talk to him about some culture stuff, and he's pretty amazing. So I'm picking out Buford to beat Carver, Atlanta.
Well, Coach App and you, Coach, are two of my favorite coaches. So I would love to just sit and talk with y'all for a while. That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm going to go with Buford. I mean, they've had a bye week, and they looked good the last time they were out. This is going to be ugly.
If Buford can get the offense they got against North Cobb and the defense they got in the first 2 weeks of the season, they can beat anybody in the state. I don't know that will align this week, but if they get one of the two, they'll win comfortably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking Buford, by the way.
Seth?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Buford. I'll be there, and y'all will be square, I guess. But I'm going with Buford.
I'll be at the East Hall North Hall
I'm
game,
going to be
not
at
square.
I'm going to be at North Forsyth.
Well, you're square no matter what, Bo. It's
Actually,
okay.
I'm round, but
You said it, not me, dude.
yeah, seeing Buford after 10 days off or more is going to be interesting. They had a good offensive performance. Raiola had a good offensive performance, 2 weeks ago. I think Buford's going to roll in this one, so I'm going to pick Buford. Cherokee Bluff at Chestatee, another Region 8 4A matchup here. Bluff last week, 27-26 losers to Madison County, a game that we kind of didn't expect it to end that way, and Bluff really showed up to play it. Of course, that missed extra point. Dadgummit.
Two of them.
Yeah, I think that the Cherokee Bluff showed us all that they are going to be competitive in 8-4A. I don't know how many games they win, but I think that they're a little bit ahead of where Chestatee is right now, so I'll take the Bluff on the road.
Yeah, it pains me to pick against Chestatee because Stuart Cunningham, I did my student teaching under him 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, at Lumpkin County High School with Walker's dad as well.
Yeah.
Way back when, but I saw Chestatee this past weekend play us, and I think Cherokee Bluffs kind of put it together. I know they lost a tough one, but I'm taking the Bluff.
Okay. Well, again, Coach, you don't have to pick against the team you want to pick for.
No.
He's playing to win, Jeff.
Okay.
To goad him into losses.
I'm just making sure he realizes he does have options here.
Yes. Why is Jeff the devil on Coach's shoulder during this entire podcast?
I got to stay in the league, guys.
Well, who you picking, Chestatee?
Look, Coach scares me. I mean, this is a real guy here. This isn't J4.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm just making sure I stay in the league.
Well, look, you've got two choices here. You can go with Chestatee if you want to.
I could, but I'm going to go with Bluff.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Bluff.
I'm taking Cherokee Bluff.
Yeah, give me Bluff, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to take Bluff in this one, and I do. I played for Coach Cunningham, but got to go for Bluff in this one.
Speaking of Bluff, take a look at our Gaining the Edge this week. We went over to Bluff, and it was a pretty great time.
Yeah, it was a big night for Connor Hulsey in that 201 yards rushing, 19 carries,
there,
3
Seth.
touchdowns.
Well
Yeah, check it out.
I'll always plug. I will always do it.
All right, this one an interesting game as always. Commerce at Lincoln County. Commerce winners last year. Commerce with that triple-headed monster in the backfield. That offense still kind of getting going, but this will be an interesting game.
Can I have like a 1B on Jeff Hart's stat of the show? We've already done it, but a quick stat on this.
Oh, you want a
before
1B?
you guys, before you guys
maybe.
pick,
I-
Commerce has lost 6 straight on the road. Commerce has lost 6 straight to Lincoln County and Lincoln. Have not beaten them in Lincoln since 2001. So just thought I would throw that out for all y'all. Before you guys make your picks, I wanted to give you that piece of information.
Thanks for that incompletion, Jeff. All right, go, Walker.
Jeff, I'm taking Commerce to win. Long road trip, but I think the triple-headed monster in the backfield's enough, so I'll take the Tigers.
Coach?
I'm taking Lincoln County at home, man.
Whoa, Coach, not so fast in me.
You see, my stat worked, right? Oh, so I'm up. But I think Commerce ends that streak, so I'm taking the Tigers.
I'm taking Lincoln County on the road.
Again, you see how my stat thing has worked here. I've now gotten 2 people to pick against me. Seth?
Give me Commerce.
Bo?
Yeah, give me Commerce. Roll Tigers.
Look, I'll take my
Yep.
2. I'll take my 2 picks against.
All right, here we go. We're moving to.
Maybe we want to save this one for last.
Do we want to save it for last?
I think we want to
All
save
right,
it.
we'll
And
save
that
it.
way
Let's
we can
save it
get
for last.
coaches. We can get coaches' analysis.
We'll save this one for last. All right, let's move down to East Jackson at Franklin County.
Caleb and I talk about East Jackson every week on the scoreboard show from 10 to 11. I'm taking East Jackson. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
I'm taking East Jackson as well, but that's because my granddaughter is a football cheerleader at East Jackson.
There you go.
Pick against her.
There it is.
Everybody's got to have a reason, don't they?
Jeff?
I'm taking East Jackson as well. They haven't been 4-0 since 2009, and I think they do it this time.
I've got my reason, and it's because East Jackson's a really good football team, and they're better than Franklin County, so I'm taking the Eagles on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to ditto what you just said there, Caleb. Plus, Coach Pettis, man, what a great guy, and he's been with that program. I mean, he's put the system in, and now they're finally reaping some of those benefits. East Jackson in this one.
Yeah, that consistency is really showing over to East Jackson. I'm also a fan of Kool-Aid, so give me East Jackson.
We need silver and blue.
Look,
what color? What color?
Great Kool-Aid's
Well, obviously silver and blue. For right now. Come on. Is there silver Kool-Aid? I don't think there's silver Kool-Aid.
There's only one Kool-Aid, guys.
I think gray Kool-Aid would be gross, whatever it is.
I think that would be aluminum. Is what that would be.
I mean, shoot, that kind of makes sense with this content, though. Like, if we're drinking aluminum, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see
we
that.
just forgot everything.
Yeah.
All right, Flowery Branch at Lambert.
I think I'm taking Lambert in this game. I think it's close. Flowery Branch is going to bounce back offensively, but I think Lambert's going to win this one at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Lambert at home. They haven't lost this year, and that'll be a tough road trip right there.
I'm going to take
not a long road trip, but a tough.
Well, I'm going to take Lambert because 7A school, they played well. Flowery Branch, I just don't know if they're size-wise, they may not be able to match up.
Yeah, I'm going to take Lambert as well.
Give me Lambert too.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lambert to this one. I think the offense of Flowery Branch bounced back a little bit, but Lambert's going to get this one. All right, let's move to Forsyth Central at Habersham Central. Walker.
Give me the Raiders in Mount Airy.
There you go.
Just because I think they're going to win the game, I don't really have any analysis to go with it.
Wow.
That was good.
Coach?
Give me the Raiders as well at home.
I'm going to go with Habersham. They won last week. I think they figured out whatever issues were going on earlier, so I'm going to go with Habersham also.
Yeah, Habersham finally got the win. They feel relieved after that. They're coming back home. I like the Raiders.
Yeah, after a win at home, all that stuff you guys said, give me the Raiders.
Yeah, give me Central in this one. Hab Central, that is.
I was trying to say which one.
Yeah, there we go. Little clarification.
You would have been right regardless.
That's good. He just leaves it at that so that no matter what happens, he's right.
That's how he does it, Coach. That's how he does it.
Is that the loophole in the show? If two teams have like a similar name, you could just say the similar name and no matter what, you're right.
If there are two teams that are red, he goes, give me the red one.
Yeah, that's right. Georgia Military against Riverside Prep.
Okay. Now, explain why we put this one on here.
We put this one on here because, it dates back to 1911?
1911. It's one of the
oldest.
oldest.
A year after you were born, Jeff.
Believe it or not, I've been to this game.
You've been to this game?
Yeah, GMC at Riverside. I went 2 years ago when Lee Coleman was the coach at GMC. So I actually went to this game.
Well, they could use lead right now because I think they've scored 7 points all year. Riverside hadn't scored much more.
Riverside scored 27 this year. I did my research.
Yes.
Okay.
Struggled, Walker.
Walker, you're up.
I'm going to take Riverside Prep in this game.
There you go.
I'm taking GMC on the road.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is because they're both over.
Somebody's got to win, too.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get a win.
I would love to see Nick get a win over there. I just don't know. They just don't have a lot right now. I'm going to take GMC, and it hurts me to say that, but yes.
I'll take Riverside to get their first win of the year. Take the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll go coattails with you. Let's go Riverside.
All right, Nick.
He's looking right in the camera.
Guys, I think
I'm going to need your help here this week.
I think we got to stop talking directly to coaches. I think this is going to get us in trouble.
Because I'm going to go with the RPA. That would be Riverside Preparatory Academy in this one.
Guys, we all picked up a game on Jeff. Let's get a round of applause.
There it is.
Oh.
There it is.
And the crowd goes.
Or did I just increase my lead?
Maybe.
That's not what's happening.
I think that. Yeah, we'll see. This was a hard game to pick.
It was a hard
And
game.
you picked wrong. Good job.
Yeah, you did. Good job, Jeff.
Dang, Walter.
All right, Walker. Hart County at Lumpkin County. This is not the Hart County of old.
No.
Lumpkin County's offense
It's not the Lumpkin County of old.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
It's Lumpkin's rolling offensively and defensively. But can they get past the mental aspect of Hart County on the front of those jerseys?
Well, earlier in the show, we talked about how this is the first time these teams have ever met, and I think it's going to be an exciting atmosphere in Dahlonega. I think Hart County keeps it close for a while, but I think Lumpkin County pulls away late third, early fourth quarter and gets the win at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Lumpkin as well. The Cal Faulkner show will be in full effect, and Cal had about 8,000 points against me last year in the game. So I told him as a basketball player as well. So
That's why he knows who Cal is. Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
picking Lumpkin County.
I'm taking Lumpkin too, but I did this 8-3A, 7-3A thing. Just cannot.
It's a
we
thing.
talked about this earlier. When we talked about the Stevens White County game, that can't be discounted because there's something there. This is a different Lumpkin team.
I can't believe you're picking against Hart.
Yeah, it's even spelled the same way as you spell it.
I'm having some issues with my family right now, so I'm taking Lumpkin. Okay.
Okay, we didn't need to know about that. But
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you know. There you go. Not my immediate family.
people
I'm
don't
talking-
come here for real world problems, Jeff.
I'm sorry.
Keep your real world problems
Coach,
out of
do you
our
do
show.
counseling on the side as well?
Do we have
I
any
do.
violin music?
What don't you do? That's what we're discovering
You're
here
taking
today.
you're taking Lumpkin,
I'm
right?
taking Lumpkin.
That's a
Absolutely.
reality TV show in the making right there.
Hart County's been struggling defensively, so give me Lumpkin at home. I think Lumpkin could put up a big number in this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you 100% on that one. I think, that Lumpkin County crowd, and it's hard to, get any traction up there. So give me Lumpkin.
Yeah, I think, talking about Cal Faulkner and his play, but I think Mason Solons probably will have a big game in this one, rushing the ball as well. So I'm going with the Indians to beat Hart County. Okay, guys, Jackson County at North Forsyth, a big 8-6A matchup, as we talked earlier the show about, and this one very interesting.
Wow, this is a hard one. Walker?
Yeah, if the Raiders can stop MJ Sperlin, I think that they're going to have a pretty easy time in this one. I think that the defense for North Forsyth is definitely the better side of the football, so I'll take the Raiders to win a close, low-scoring game.
I like North Forsyth to win it, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
This was a 3-0 game, Jackson County, last year going into the fourth quarter. I was there. I expect a similar type of game. I think the key in this, like we discussed, is going to be that North Forsyth defense and really the passing attack of Jackson County, which has not really shown up at all. They've thrown 7 interceptions. North Forsyth has picked off 5 passes. I think that's the key matchup. I'm going to take North Forsyth, but I expect another close game. I mean, that Jackson County defense is good, and have MJ Sperlin, who is an X factor.
I'm hopping on the shoulders of MJ Sperling.
Oh,
I'm
there we
taking
go.
Jackson County on the road. I'm going to ride the big fella and let him go for 250 yards, and Jackson County wins.
That's a huge number
A
you got
big number.
Huge.
there. Huge.
Huge.
Friday night, I'm going to be all messed up. Be sitting around with a piece of paper like this.
He's just like,
Who did
oh,
I
my
pick?
God.
Who did I pick?
Oh, man. I'll go. I think earlier I made a completely false statement of where I'm going this Friday. I'm going to this game, right?
No, you're going to Buford.
I am going to Buford.
Yeah.
I have
Remember, you wait, hold on. You do the scheduling of the video
yourself?
photo.
I do everybody else's scheduling. You tell me where to go, and I
aluminum Kool-Aid is really invested in your brain.
I think it's just this show. Like, just notice how I'm good
Taxi,
You
I'm
are?
good.
Wait, you are good?
I'm good every other time until we get into this studio.
Taxi, call
Walking
Mountain,
into
please.
this studio and just seeing all of your faces just makes my brain die.
Hey, we're
you're
Gabby
on the red
Award
light.
nominated.
It's the red
Gabby
light.
It's
Award
the red light.
nominated.
Seth, your private plane just taxied up here to the station.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, all right.
The
Okay.
meter's running.
Who
the
you
meter's
picking?
Did you
Who
make
you
a
picking?
pick, by the way?
No, he didn't.
I'm going to go with North Forsyth on this one. Jeff, I'm going to find another color to turn you.
Maybe silver with the silver Kool-Aid.
Hey, maybe. I did black and white last weekend.
That's true.
All right, this game is in Raider Valley. It is homecoming. It is potentially for a home playoff spot in this region, much like it was last year.
Yes.
For North Forsyth. It
Yes.
actually propelled them into the region championship game against Gainesville. I'm going to go with Nofo in this one.
Hard pick.
It is a hard pick. Hard pick.
Should be a great game.
Stevens County at White County.
Another good one.
A lot of people might be calling it for a shootout here in this game. I think Stevens County's defense shuts down White County and wins this game big.
Yeah, to me, that's the most interesting game this weekend. So, but I'm taking Stevens County as well.
Well, as you know, I brought up during the Jeff
remember.
Hart stat of the show. Some great matchups. I mean, White County third in offense, Stevens in the top 5 or 6 in defense in Class 3A. I've seen Stevens play. I haven't seen White. They're much improved. But Stevens is the most complete team other than Gainesville I think I've seen all year. I'm going to take Stevens on the road. I think this will be a little closer than people think, but that defense is really studly.
I think the defense is the difference, too. I'm taking Stevens.
I'm going to go with Stevens, too. However, I agree with you, Jeff. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. I think it's definitely one of the most interesting games on paper we've got this week.
Yeah, and White County has proved that they could score, but not against a defense like Stevens County. So, Stevens County in this one. All right, our final game with the rundown. Not our final game, our next to final game. And the rundown is Union County at West Hall. I suspect the offense of the Panthers will be ready to roll, Walker.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. That offense is going to put up a lot of numbers. I like Union in this one.
Yeah, Union on the road. That's a long trip down the mountain, but Coach Perry's got that offense rolling.
No, I'm going to take Union too. I love that offense that they got. The defense is it's better than it's getting credit for. I think West Hall puts in a pretty good showing, but I think Union is just really, really good right now.
I got Union.
I got Union as well.
Yeah, and I said earlier the year that Union was going to contend for that 8-2A.
You did call that. You called that back in
title.
the summer.
And I think they continue to get better each week. Union's going to roll in this one.
All right. We're going to let Coach go first in this.
We're going to let Coach go first in this next game because this is one of the oldest rivalries in the county. East Hall.
In North Georgia, probably.
At North Hall in a big Region 8 4A matchup. Both teams 1-0 in the region. Coach, the floor is yours.
This is your analysis time. Give it to us, Coach.
Well, obviously, this game means so much to so many people. Always has, and I think it always will. We found a way last week. Won a tough game. The defense was outstanding, particularly down the stretch. I'm thinking Jamarcus Harrison has gonna have opportunity to make some plays. I think that's gonna be the key. If he's able to make some plays and get the ball down the field a little bit. Obviously they thumped us last year, bad. So these young men are a year older, and a lot of them played in that game, and hopefully they remember what happened. Going over to the Brickyard is gonna be tough, but guys, I'm never going to pick against the Vikings. So,
there we go. Look at that. I love it.
Well, Coach, I think this game can be close. I think if East Hall's defense plays the way that they did last week, I think that the Vikings can stay in this. I just think that North Hall offense is playing too well right now, and they're going to, be able to score a couple touchdowns late to be able to pull away in this one. So I'm going to take the Trojans as much as it pains me, Coach.
I understand.
Jeff, can you do the chant?
However, not so fast.
No, okay, there we go.
Oh no, man!
Look, the question is the North Hall defense what we saw last week when they only gave up 6 to Walnut Grove, or when they probably gave up? They had 2 touchdowns called back. White County did in that game, and they would have given up 50. Which North Hall defense are we going to get? If we get the defense against White County, I think East Hall has enough horses that they can win this game. But that North Hall offense with Tanner Marsh and Tate Ruth, who's one of my favorite underrated players in the entire area, and you look at Riles Puryear, I just think they have a little too much. I'm going to take the Trojans, but I don't think it's going to be 69-0 this year, Coach.
How can you pick against an impassioned speech?
Look,
from Joe. I mean, how can you?
I will tell you this: if Coach had brought his jacket and taken his jacket and ripped it off and thrown it on the chair, I would have taken East Hall.
How can you do that? I'm doing it too. I'm taking North Hall. Sorry, Coach.
Man, dang.
Jeff, I will not be speaking to you during basketball season.
Yes.
For the record.
For the record.
Coach, I hope you'll still speak to me.
Walker, I might give you the time of the day, but Bo and Jeff are done.
Oh no.
Wait, I have not picked yet, Coach.
Oh no.
Bo, I can tell where you're going right now. I know where you're going.
Oh no.
Oh, you think I'm going with North Hall, huh?
But Seth, you're up first.
I'm up first. It's really hard for me to pick against Tanner Marsh and that North Hall team.
That's because you're from North Hall.
That's not why.
He's an alum.
That is not why.
He has to go that way.
That's not why at all.
That's totally
Has nothing to do with it, but I am going with North Hall. Coach, I'm the one with the camera. I hope you'll talk to me. I promise I'll never turn you colors like I do Jeff.
Look, the Brickyard's going to be full on Friday. It's like Hall of Fame induction. It's homecoming. And yes, I get that on the radio, so that's going to be great. But going to love those lengthy timeouts there. East Hall, they are better this year.
They are.
Obviously. They are better this year. North Hall's offense is rolling this year, right? Can the Vikings pull the upset of the Brickyard? I don't think so. I'm going with the Trojans. This is sorry.
Hey, wait. You got Coach. Hey, for that outburst, T.
It's the two-finger T.
Oh no.
Oh, man, that was
Thank you,
fun.
Coach, for your first and last appearance on the Pick'em Show. Thank you very much.
Hey, Coach, we'll be kinder to you at the Lanierland Pick'em Show. Would you?
I appreciate that. Guys.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you jumping on here with us this morning. It's been fun, as usual.
I will tell you, we'll have to have him on next week if East Hall pulls that
We'll-
upset
look.
because he's the only one that picked them.
Look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you, Ryan Murray, and Sutton Shirley into a three-man pick'em tournament. They'll love that.
Let's go. Let's go. I got something for Sutton Shirley.
Let's go.
Thanks, Coach. East Hall Coach Joe Dix. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, guys. All right.
Love you, Coach.
All right, guys, time to get to the locks of the week. You know, Jeff, myself, Caleb, and Seth all won their locks. Walker lost his lock last week
I'm still perfect.
By 2 points.
by 2 points. And Jeff, by the way, is
Perfect. I'm leading the picks. I'm perfect in the locks.
Jeff is old. Caleb and I are 3-1. Walker's 2-2,
The
and Seth is
experience
2-2.
is coming through.
All right, let's move on. As yes, Jeff, you get to pick first this week,
Dang
followed by
right.
myself, followed by Caleb, followed by Seth, followed by Walker. So go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I'm going to tell you, since I'm taking Commerce to win on the road, and I get the 4 points, I'm going to take Commerce +4.
Okay.
So they have Ivy Talbert. So if it comes down to a field goal,
Joseph.
I feel very good.
Okay.
Who's next?
It'd be me.
Okay.
I don't really know what I'm going to
Some
pick.
tough lines this week.
Oh, yeah.
There are some tough lines.
That's why we picked them.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to take that Lambert line. Yep, going to do that. Going to take the Lambert. Yep.
Lambert is
-8.
-8.
You
yep.
are great at saying
Yep.
I'm taking this team and then not
Yep.
saying what the line is.
I'm taking Lambert.
-8.
The line is -8, Caleb.
All right, I am going to take.
Caleb, the line is -8.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to take Cherokee Bluff -18 at home against Chestatee. War Eagles are struggling on offense. Cherokee Bluff just played a very good defensive game, so I could see Bluff scoring in the 20s and maybe potentially still covering that line.
Okay.
That's a good pick. Seth, who you picking?
Give me White County to cover that 26.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
I don't like that
26.
silence. I don't like it.
I had to type it in because I'm recording these, so that was why the silence was there. Last year I picked Gainesville to cover 52 against Appalachia. This year you've got 54.
That's correct.
I'm gonna take Appalachia +54. Gainesville's gonna win the game, but 54 is just a little too much. I hope I'm wrong.
Little too rich for your taste.
Yeah, but 54 points is a lot of points. And Appalachia just scored 31 last week against Loganville. So I feel like their offense is kind of starting to roll a little bit.
Did you just compare Gainesville's defense to Loganville? You just compared Gainesville's defense to Loganville?
Of course you did.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't compare Gainesville's defense to anybody. I said Appalachia's offense is starting to roll. So
they lost.
I'm going to take Appalachia to stay within 54 points. Okay. Maybe it's a 51-point game, but it's within 54.
Where is Loganville?
I don't know.
Somewhere. I'm not sure.
Just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Who's up next?
Seth, roll the music, please.
Nobody.
That's it. That's the last one. That's right.
That's the end of the show.
Wow.
Just roll the music.
Sheesh.
What a show, guys. Hey, Caleb, what's on the tailgate show? Speaking of shows.
We've got a lot to get to. We're going to have a lot of coverage of that North Forsyth Jackson County game that we'll have on AM 550. And, we're just going to have a good time eating barbecue, giving out prizes. It's always a good Friday at the tailgate show.
Always
you and that barbecue, man.
In our face.
You didn't invite Coach Dix to the barbecue.
He's invited anytime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Standing invitation. Standing invitation.
By the way, that show goes off just after 6 on Friday, live from Smokehouse Barbecue in Oakwood.
By the way, you, the listener, are invited to Smokehouse.
You, the listener, are invited to Smokehouse.
Watcher? Viewer?
Can I come over there?
Viewer?
Yeah. Yes, you can go over there.
Because they're viewing this show.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm trying to talk to them on a personal level.
Behind a tab.
Then they're whatever.
Hey, check us out on Twitter, our X, formerly known as Twitter.
I'm going to need you to stop looking at me directly when you're trying to outro the show. It's weird.
Why?
I don't like it.
It's your red light.
We're running out of time.
We're running out of time.
Music is running out.
Look, go to accesswdun.com on Friday night game page, whatever it's called, and check out the highlights and everything.
Friday game night.
Deal for you for the entire crew. Enjoy week number 5 of high school football.
We will be replacing Bo on the next show.
Goodbye.